Let's be real, what would 2025 be if Instagram didn't kick the year off with a bunch of new updates that I think business owners need to bear in mind as they're developing and working through and executing their social media strategy for the platform. In today's video, we're going to talk about all the updates that I believe you need to keep top of mind as we continue throughout the rest of the year. Let's get right into it. If you're new to my channel, thanks so much for stopping by. You're in a good place if you're a business owner, because over here I talk about social media marketing and content marketing and everything that you need to keep in mind to bolster the reach of your business using social media. So if this is something that is of interest to you, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. Now guys, we all know that Instagram has been going through its evolution. If you've been keeping up with the platform for a while, they have been thinking of new ways of trying to make things interesting, of trying to keep up with the TikTok revolution that we have experienced to now live in a world that is primarily based on video. And with these new changes coming to the platform, Instagram decided that they wanted to kick the year off by making it clear where their priorities lie.
At Instagram, we're going to be focused on two things: creativity and connecting with the people that you care about, by making sure that our creative tools are best in class across the board, which they are not right now, by embracing new technologies like AI to allow more creators to create more content that they're proud of, and by trying to reward creative content more by focusing ranking on things like originality. We want people to connect over the things that they discover on Instagram. On messaging, which by the way is the primary way people share on Instagram today, even though a lot of people don't think of us that way. We're also going to look for more ways to make recommendations and consuming content more interactive and more social.
As I stated in the video, Instagram is going to be prioritizing connection and creativity across the platform. Essentially, this means that whatever updates that they'll be doing should be attributed to one or two of these two things. Where creativity is concerned, this is primarily based on preserving the originality of a piece of content so that the original content creator will not have to worry about their content being stolen, or that engagement is being mostly channeled to another account which repurpose their original content. We've been also seeing a lot of different creative ways in which people are uploading their reels to the platform using the different creator tools that are available. So as a business, I think it's important to bear this in mind. Always try to have something original about your videos, and this can all tie back to your branding and just what you can use to visually define you as a brand, even in your editing style and the tools that you use on the platform. Connection is concerned, Instagram prioritizes saves and shares when it comes on to content. If you can create a piece of content that encourages someone to share it with their friend, to share it to their stories, and spark a conversation about it, this will send to the algorithm, hey, this is amazing, you need to send it to more users, and the next thing you know, you have increased your reach over the span of a couple hours. And so Instagram wants more creators to really be intentional about this, because they want to keep people on their platform. Keep in mind, this is how they make their money, guys. Now, as for the rest of the updates, I have categorized them into three different major headings. One focused on Reels, the second one is focused on your feed, and the third one is, believe it or not, a new app that Instagram is creating. The moment Reels were created, everyone was pretty interested and excited about it, because this was the one way in which Instagram made it clear that we will bolster your reach. And of course, we did see that some accounts really experienced that. A lot of people were able to expand their business and make tons of money because of Reels. As time progressed, however, this has kind of changed, and a lot of people have seen that their Reels performance have dwindled to next to nothing. So Instagram has decided that they wanted to create something called trial Reels that they have embedded into the Reels algorithm. Think of it as putting your reel on a test. You're doing market research for this reel, and this particular reel will only be exposed to persons who do not follow you. So if you, let's say you have a tons of followers already on your business account, but from a social media perspective, you're thinking of trying something new with your content marketing on Instagram, but you're not yet ready for your followers to be exposed to that just yet. You want to see how other person would react to this particular piece of content. Then you can put that reel on a test or a trial to see how it performs. Instagram will channel it only to persons who do not follow you, and you'll be able to see different analytics that will come up about this reel to tell you how it performed and if anyone was really interested in it. After the trial period expires, which is usually 24 hours, I believe, you can then enable this reel to be visible to persons who are already part of your following pool. Here's what Adam Masori had to say about it.
It would be cool if you could see how a reel is going to do before you actually post it on Instagram. That's the idea behind a new feature we're launching this week around trial reels. So we've been working on this really closely with creators for almost a year now to try and figure out ways to depressurize the experience of sharing reels on Instagram. And the way this works is you're going to be able to share a reel and mark it as a trial, and then it won't show up on your profile or on your Reels tab or even for anybody who follows you. Instead, we will show it just to some people who do not follow you, and you can see how it's doing. I'd recommend you look at how many likes and sends it's getting per reach. Look at that ratio. And then you can decide after a day or two if you actually want to commit to sharing it with everybody who follows you and having it show up on your profile.
Personally, I have been using trial reels on my own Instagram platform. I'm not yet at a place where I can tell you that I have seen meaningful results from it. However, I have been hearing stories from other persons, more so internationally, in America, in different countries, not Jamaica, where I'm currently based, that trial reels really do help to bring in fresh eyes to their platform. I've even seen persons use trial reels as a form of advertisement. So they will leave their nurturing content for their existing followers, and when they're looking to attract new persons, they'll create these type of content that really talks about their services or what they do as a literal ad. Just think of it as an ad, and they'll push that as a trial reel to attract new persons to their profile. So I definitely see this as a great opportunity, especially for businesses, if you want to really get new persons and new eyes on your account. Now, it's important, however, where the measuring part of things come into play, that you do not measure the performance of your trial reel against the performance of your regular reel, because we're talking about two different types of reels here. We're talking about one that's available to those who already follow you, that probably have been there for a way longer period of time, that will be exposed to different types of people. And we're also talking about a reel that's literally just been done for market research. So you want to benchmark the performance of your trial reel against other trial reels that you have done and see which one are performing the best. And usually that can give you an indication as to, okay, if this is performing well as a trial, then it might be a good indication that I can now reveal this to my followers, because maybe this is clearly a piece of content that is resonating with people. I think every single business who is active on Instagram should really try to leverage this. As I said, it's a prime way of exposing your content, of exposing your business to persons who are not currently following you. So guys, please bear that in mind. Next update that I think is important for business owners to know when it comes on to reels goes against something I said in a previous video a couple months back. I think it was my Think Like a Digital Strategist video where I mentioned that Adam Masori, head of Instagram, had made it clear that Instagram will only be prioritizing short form content on the platform. Fast forward to 2025, when we had all the whiplash going on with TikTok and we were unsure of what's going to happen to TikTok, all of a sudden you can now upload a video that's 90 seconds long on Instagram. Before it was only 60 seconds. And I think this was just a strategic move to help, attract the TikTok users to the platform, should TikTok had become banned, because as we know, long format content were beginning to really grow on TikTok. A lot of persons were enjoying the long form content more than they were the short form content. We're seeing a lot of different vlogs coming up. A lot of persons are creating different series on TikTok. It's like it's becoming its own little mini YouTube over there. And so Instagram recognized that, hey, if we want to get TikTok users who are producing longer forms of still short form content, then maybe we need to extend the duration of our reel. And so now you can actually upload a video that is 90 seconds long to your Instagram account. What does this mean for your strategy as a business owner? It simply means that you now have an extra platform to explore a different duration of video content to your audience and see if this is something that they would enjoy. You can leverage possibly creating a series of some sort to see if persons will resonate with the longer form content. But it really doesn't change much because based on what I have personally observed, it still seems like Instagram prefers the shorter content types more than they do the long form content. But this is just something to bear in mind, that you can now upload a reel that's 90 seconds long. Now let's talk about your feed. By now, if you take a look at your Instagram feed, you should realize that something looks different. Something looks different. Guys, Instagram is no longer using the square grid. It has now switched over to the portrait size grid. And of course, I've seen mixed reactions regarding this. If you take a look inside his comment sections, you will see that persons were just going off. Some persons really hated it and other persons really loved the change. Personally, I do prefer the portrait size compared to the square, because I just think when you're scrolling, it's so much easier to read. It's so much easier to, to look at the thumbnails. Now it actually makes sense to put text on the thumbnails, but some persons really hate it. And I can understand that, it was quite an investment. If you were building the aesthetic of your grid, it's probably all just over the place now, because a lot of persons had to go back to their existing post and change the covers of their reels and just how things look, because the switch in the grid had thrown off just the general look and feel of a lot of different persons' account. I have taken a look at different business accounts and I've recognized that some persons still have their old flyers up. Some persons still have different graphics that they use that suited the square size, but now it just looks wonky and makes the business page look less professional. So I do encourage you that, if you had a business account before this change was made, go back at your posts, especially the reels, and try to resize the covers so that things can look less wonky and all over the place in your grid. One important thing to keep in mind when it comes on to working with the portrait size grid for Instagram is your text for your covers or whatever graphic that you may produce for the platform. So now that you're working with a portrait size, it's much longer in length, and this will give you room to make your text much bigger. So keep that in mind. If you really keep your text small when you publish the content and just looking on the grid from without actually clicking the actual individual piece of content, it's going to be very hard to read. So think of your grid now as your YouTube thumbnail, and think about making things jump out the moment someone is just simply sliding and just looking at your entire feed, in a cohesive way. Finally, guys, I said at the start of this video, the third category is a new app. Believe it or not, Instagram is creating an editing app called Edits. This is something I personally didn't see coming, and I kind of hit myself on the head for not seeing it coming. But let me explain why it is that this is a whole thing now. Instagram is creating a new app called Edits because, as we know, with the whole TikTok ban, TikTok actually, its parent company also owns CapCut. CapCut has become one of the most famous apps to use to create your videos on the go using your mobile phone. Now, with the US banning TikTok, CapCut also came under a lot of pressure and scrutiny because it's also a Chinese app managed by the same company. And for some persons, they actually lost access to their CapCut platform. They couldn't use it anymore to edit their videos. And so, as Adam has said in his general video about Instagram prioritizing creativity and producing different tools to help creativity, creating this new app called Edits is a part of that thrust, and also a part of the thrust to get more persons who were really channeling over to TikTok to come back to Instagram and remain in the Instagram ecosystem. Is this very important for you as a business owner? Yes, if it is that you were relying on CapCut and you're based in the United States. I am currently in the Caribbean, so I still have access to CapCut, and I'm sure a number of other persons and countries can still use it. But if you find that you are not being able to optimize the app much, then edits might become the new thing that you use to edit your mobile videos on the go. They're still testing out the app in certain countries. Adam says he personally uses it right now to make his own videos. There you have it, guys. Those are some of the key updates from Instagram at the start of the year. Honestly, I don't know if I can keep up with everything if they keep trying to just make everything new all the time. People just really want a platform to work with that is predictable, and I think it's a bittersweet thing because they're trying to make the app better, but it's becoming less and less predictable, and that does frustrate persons like me who are strategists, persons like you who are business owners who work so hard to build out your content strategy only to recognize that an update came out and now you have to do something different. So I can understand some of the frustrations of persons, but let's remain optimistic. Let's not throw in the towel. I'm sure eventually things will smooth out and we can all find a rhythm that works the best for our social media platforms. If you find yourself struggling a little bit too much though, I do encourage you to check out my description box and visit my website at www.thecontenthubmedia.com to learn more about how you can get access to my one-on-one sessions, strategy sessions, and we can go through the best way to move forward in optimizing your Instagram profile for your business. If you guys found this helpful, I do encourage you to hit that subscribe button as a little thanks to me. It costs you nothing. It costs you absolutely nothing, and your girl really want to grow this year. Thank you guys so much for always watching my videos, for tuning in. Give this video a like as well so that Instagram can recommend it to like-minded users. And don't be afraid to leave a comment down below to let me know if you have any further questions or anything, any of your thoughts that you want to share with me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Have a good one. Bye.